The Gems of War Guild Wars week 102, day 2. So today, of course, we got ourselves some green Guild War day, at least on PC Mobile. So we'll be messing around with that, probably with a version of a Weeb team, as Weaver tends to be pretty good on purple, green, and yellow. Of course, this purple, we end up messing with the Construct Hero class, and we'll look in tomorrow, too, for Brown Day. However, given it is Green Day, I was going to stick pretty much with the usual, just kind of like Leprechaun, feeding a bunch of stuff mana, and then we end up winning out from there. Looks like overall we're doing okay, though we did drop down to bracket 5, so I would sure hope so. Where are we currently? Oh yeah, we did go 4-1 yesterday, due to a bit of a mistake on the one battle, but oh well. Anyways, let's go. Okay, I also set to cleanse right now. We actually want to change out of that. We normally want that so our defend team will do a little bit better. Actually, did it do it? I think it won once earlier. Yeah, I won once, lost twice. So the cleanse hopefully made it win it once at some point there. As you can sometimes just get a cleanse and they don't expect it, and then you end up winning out. I feel like I should change out this team. This one's been probably winning the least. Yagway, Queen Titania. Life and Death Weaver's still been winning the most, which is kind of funny. It's because people have kind of gotten used to countering it, yet it still goes kind of crazy still. Just because it's Life and Death Weaver. It'll always be at least some degree of good. Anyways, as far as Guild Wall Green, we're going to use the same one we mentioned last night, which is Essence of Evil, Queen Beatrix, Arachnid Weaver, and a Leprechaun. Oh, also, before I forget, since it's still beginning to stream, don't forget to get the Construct Pet, another 7 hours for that. We already had the event for it earlier, however, you can get more copies of it. And most of us probably need more copies unless you end up buying it out on the first event. However, it's pretty nice. Oh wait, is this actually... Yeah, this is Construct. For a second I thought it was Brown Gem bonus. I know we got one for that. That was the handout. Yeah, this one is for Construct bonus, so definitely make sure to get yourself more of it. So you can get that very juicy bonus there, as it's one of the more useful ones, of course. 4 times Construct, pretty decent. Unfortunately, if you double up on double Chalcedony, it does not give you the full amount of bonus. It'll only give you a triple instead of a quad. You still get the full bonus for having 4 constructs in that sense, but not for the team bonus, since you theoretically only have 3 unique ones, since her ability counts any construct, whereas the pet itself counts specifically unique ones. Anyways, we got our green Guild War team here. Double check that we're set correctly on Elementalist. Might need to change my banner actually. What are we, or not banner, but my +1. We're currently on Explode. I guess Explode is fine. And then we just go Leprechaun, go board clear. Yeah, seems fine. We're doing Essence of Evil, which is, oh gosh, she's using the same team, but with Beatrix. So we are using an Essence of Evil here just to kind of lock down anything that might be super annoying. For example, not his Thief, I guess Beatrix then, in this particular situation. So if he doesn't have alignment, we're going to want to go and deal with that. Or deal with it if he does have alignment, I mean. So he has purple to green, which is concerning, and he has yellow to green. Oh gosh, just explode and hope we don't lose. That is way too much alignment. Overall, that did not go that badly, surprisingly. That might have looked bad, but it didn't actually do that much, surprisingly. So take that over, take that over. We have Essence of Evil. I should cast Beatrix here and make sure it doesn't miss, or have a higher chance that it doesn't miss, and it still misses! No! Beatrix, why? Why must you be like this? Beatrix, how could you miss? Let's see, win condition. Take green, take skull, we better get summoned, and then we still have a slight chance. The good old Beatrix miss. It hurts. Okay, I did not get yellow off the sky. He's gonna book us, which basically means we're dead because he's gonna rebook us. Unless a web spinner can hit through Entangle. Nope, we're gonna lose on the very first one. Oh, good old double Empower. So when is Empower getting nerfed from Guild War? That'd be great. Though in all fairness, we're setting the same defense team. But yeah, we shouldn't have versed the Beatrix. Should have just taken the extra turn and went for the other thing. I really hate Beatrix sometimes. It's like among one of my least favorite meta troops. Because when it misses so hard. And sometimes you just have to go for it. Like right now, we kind of want to go for it. We could take green, play it safe, go for Essence of Evil. Let's see, if he has no alignment, I guess we could play it super safe. The problem is he does have alignment, and we don't have a way to remove it there. So, you know what? We're just going to Beatrix and hope for the best. Luckily, I didn't miss this time. Okay. So, what's his hero running? He's running Elementalist. Actually, I could just Weaver here. We're in a much safer position this time around. And we won. See the difference when Weaver doesn't miss? It's like night and day. Okay. Oh, well, gosh. This whole guild's gonna have the same team, aren't they? Oh, so hello, everyone, by the way. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Gimli. Hello, Roman. Hello, Barbara. Hello, GCG. Hello, Bill Warhammer. Hello, Draco. Hello, Tyrion. Hello, Mark, Joey. Hello, Sushi Ninja. And hello, everyone else. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, yeah. This team's really annoying. It just sometimes auto wins out of nowhere just because it exists. So he's purple to green, which is nothing. And he has yellow to green, which does something. Let me just double check. Okay, if I take this green down, aren't we safe? Pretty sure we are safe. Yellow to green does nothing. Purple to green does a lot, but also does nothing. I'm just gonna take this. What's he gonna do? He pretty much has no option now. Just double check after we take all of our extra turns, so he has no option still. Actually, at this point, I might as well just cast Beatrix. No! Do we want to risk it? Okay, he's running Elemental, so you know what? Since this one isn't the Thief build, I'm just gonna disable that. Now we're gonna go for Beatrix and hope it doesn't miss, and it missed again. But at least the book is disabled, so he can't really do much with all that green. All he can do is infinite loop us with Beatrix for the win. So we can take that now. As long as this Beatrix doesn't go too crazy here, we'll be fine. Which he shouldn't be able to while frozen, but you never know. It'll try. It's definitely trying. It's trying its best to auto win. Despite it being frozen and stunned. Still trying to find a way. In all fairness, it wasn't actually frozen on brown because it had no brown. Which is actually an interesting thing with both this concept and this concept here. Because we actually have a Beatrix that's creating brown, but we're not frozen on brown in either situation. This is beneficial because since we don't use the color, it's impossible for us to be frozen on that color. So both these teams, even if you're stun froze on Beatrix, can still actually turn off a brown. Which is one mechanic of using Beatrix without a brown on your team, because you're still using brown because of Elementalists or similar hero class. You're getting barrier on brown, but you can't be frozen on brown since you don't actually use the color. Anyways, purple to green does something, but not an extra turn. Yellow to green does similar. So if I just take this, he basically gets no value, unless I miscalculated something. Okay, there we go. And now we just win. Wait, Monk, you don't have Stealthy. So I could just Elemental assist Monk, and then we won. As long as we don't backfire somehow. Oh, but what about the Beatrix? No! We can still work with that. So we'll do that for extra turn. We'll go try disabling it again. You know what? This time I'm going to go disable the Beatrix. May actually be safer here so he doesn't get the thing since we didn't already get a stun on him yet. So we throw this down, hopefully land extra turn. And we basically just win here. We'll throw down another one. His whole team's already disabled as much as it needs to be. Put down a Weaver, Beatrix. Could just Beatrix twice, but I wanted to play it a little safe, just in case it wanted to miss still. There wasn't much you could do at that point. Was this going to be the week we just go all 4 ones? I sure hope not. And it's all 5 the same team, gosh. I always find it interesting when a guild's coordinated enough to literally just have all the same team. I don't know, do you guys do that with your guild? Because I know my guild kind of just sets, you know, whatever we feel like setting. But there's some guilds that literally, like, to the T, have the exact same team in every way, shape, and form. I feel like to some degree that would be a disadvantage. In the sense that if they could beat it once, they could probably beat it 5 times. Because you make it so they don't have to change their team then. Compared to having a bunch of different options. You don't have Stealthy, right? No. Wait. Let me just double check. This hero class doesn't get used too often. Yeah, it doesn't. So let me just... Oh, actually, no, I'm going to go for a Beatrix first. I don't want it to cleanse like the other battle did. We'll play it safe like that. Throw it down a Beatrix. We can just go straight to Weaver because of Fairy Fire. And then we basically win. I'm just disable the hero just to make sure. Pretty sure we're fine without that, but... don't need to risk it. And it was Weaver in for the win. Now, if only the first battle could have went that smoothly. Yeah, that's Green Guild War. Oddly enough, we actually scored worse today than yesterday. How is that possible? How did yesterday's Construct team score better? We even lost on the lowest possible battle. So how did that score better? Oh. No, wait. Wait, does it matter if you lose on the first battle then? Because it keeps going up in points. Would you technically lose? No, you'd still get the same amount of points either way. Yeah, so I guess, I don't know, we did something worse then. Because we did like 200 less than yesterday, or 100 less. Which is kind of amazing because that team did way better than the one yesterday. Yet the other one still scored like ever so slightly better. Interesting. Anyways, that's Green Guild War. Pretty standard. Unfortunately, we did lose with Beatrix, as Beatrix does ever so occasionally when it misses its ability. It's unfortunate, but it happens sometimes. Anyways, let's go, probably go get the pet before we forget. Definitely need this pet. It is a really good one. I'm not going to bother maxing it out, but we definitely want more copies of it. Your skull's buffed you a bit. What, the skull damage? Oh, that's why we scored less. We were using true damage today. Oh, I know why I scored less. So, one thing that you get scored by in Guild Wars is the amount more damage you do to the enemy compared to how much you do to them, or how much more you do to them relative to how much they do to you. And one problem with using true damage is you're theoretically doing less damage to the enemies. So, for example, yesterday we were killing them primarily with skulls and physical damage. So we're hitting through their entirety of their HP and their armor. So even if they were hitting us slightly, we were still hitting them way, way more. The problem with using a true damage team is if you don't always maintain advantage, any damage they get on you is basically twice as much, in the sense that you're doing half as much, because you're just aiming directly at their HP value. But yeah, that's why we scored about 100 less today, or 200 less, whatever it was. It's because we ran true damage. It only scores less if you ever fall behind. Like, if you win very, very quickly, then it won't make a difference. But if they start doing damage to you, they're basically doing twice as much compared to if you're using a physical damage team. Because it only cares about the damage difference. And true damage overall will generally do less damage, since it will kill them early. Yeah, that's what made us get lower score. That's not too big a deal, though. I don't mind running true damage in Guild Wars. Insta-kill does the same thing, by the way. Insta-kill counts as 0 damage in almost every situation, as far as Guild Wars scored. So something like a Zugov, for example. His skulls count for value, but his, like the insta-kill part of it counts for 0 damage. I believe Devour does as well, if I'm not mistaken. There are a few weird insta-kills that does count as damage. For example, Archer's insta-kill, if I'm not mistaken, counts as damage. And a few other really weird instances. With something like Assassin's 7% insta-kill, his 10% off his skull, Zugov's insta-kill, a few other like that don't count for any score. Unfortunately, it's not really that well expressed in-game. Like, it's hard to figure out like what your full breakdown is. They somewhat have that by design, so people can't like ultra min-max it. But it also makes it a little bit confusing to figure out where all the points are coming from sometimes. I still feel like Guild Wars needs a rework, though. Not just to make it easier to understand, but also the balance. Or the lack thereof. Because you have to keep in mind, even though we keep getting new stuff, we've basically been in the same format of Guild Wars for like 4 or 5 years now. Where the way that it's played hasn't changed at all. For a exceedingly long time. And it could definitely use a refresh. Especially with how much the game has changed since then. That's something they'll probably get around to at some point. I highly doubt it's the next patch, though, which is likely this Tuesday. The Dragon's Path. I don't know if it is, I have no clue, but we'll find out then. Also, can I please get mana? I'm just kind of just like taking whatever. And I just now realized we're like 20 turns in a row. Also, they said Surian only wanted to give a framework of how the points are calculated. Yeah, they've given us like some things for it. And I believe it was data mined at one point. I think it was changed slightly since that data mine. I'm pretty sure someone has re-data mined it recently. I'm not sure where the most recent data is on it. But I know like generally what it's scored by. Like how much more damage you do compared to the enemy, how much more mana you accumulate compared to the enemy. That like X amount of turns thing. Where you get penalized after a certain amount of turns. I can't remember the number off the top of my head. Like a few other things like that. What are we in right now? We should probably switch to Phoenicia. Good old Phoenicia. Just clear it out the dailies, and then we'll go get our crowns. And then we'll go and probably just some Explore 12. Actually, before we do, we'll go hand out a redeem code as well for some juicy loot. And we do a bounty hunter this Friday, so we'll be doing that throughout the weekend. Probably spread it across the 3 days while doing Guild Wars. But for today and tomorrow, we just have the standard events. The pet today, which is still really good. Definitely make sure to get it. It's a good construct pet. And then the class event for Geomancer tomorrow. Also keep in mind, that's the last Geomancer event for a while. And if you do want to mass buy it up for whatever reason, it is pretty pricey gem-wise. However, it is the last day you're going to be able to for probably half a year, if not longer. So it's your last opportunity to power level it if you so choose. Otherwise, leveling it manually is perfectly fine. Two to 5 years, Guild War rework. Is it even on the schedule? They did mention it a while back. Do you know what else they mentioned a while back? Like 4 or 5 years ago? A PvP rework that never came. And Treasure Hunt rework, but they're still working on that eventually. But I wonder whatever happened to that PvP rework. Because there was like a moment like 4-ish years ago where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna rework PvP soon. And then they still haven't touched it to this day. These PvP leaderboards is one of the most dated things ever. The last time, you know how long it's been since it was updated? Ingots came into the game. That is how long it has been since PvP leaderboard got updated, or the game mode at all got touched. Was when ingots were added to the game. It has been that long since they have done anything to the PvP. Not specifically Guild Wars, but PvP specifically. Though Guild Wars pretty much hasn't been touched for a similar amount of time. Last time anything has changed related to guilds, I believe was when we got Epic Tasks. Which was 3-4 years ago? I believe it was 2019. Let's hello, Clip-Bomb. Welcome, welcome. You just hit level 100 Geomancer today. Nice, congrats. Yeah, anyone who doesn't have it max, I believe you get 65 free XP tomorrow off the free battles. You also have access to multi-buying it, though if you haven't done it off the other 2 events, you're probably not going to do it off the 3rd one. Though, in theory, it would be an easier leaderboard. Because most people who would have wanted to already max the hero class probably already have off of gems. Meaning that leaderboard might be a little bit easier than normal. Also get the hero class upgraded. So hello, Exos. Hello, Jay. Welcome, welcome. Alright, let's go hand it a code. And then we'll go, oh, never mind. I thought that was the last dungeon battle. Well, let me go start prepping it, though. As soon as we finish these 2 dungeon battles, we'll go hand out a code. Also, I'm almost running out, though I do have another 50. I just haven't put them into my copy-paste bin yet. But I need to do that, because I only have 2 more codes left besides the other 50 I have. So technically I have 52, but the other 50 aren't in my thingy yet. 1 second. Typed it into the wrong field. So it starts with 99. Normally I don't see a double same number at the beginning. There we go. But just confusing is 996. Let's see. But there you guys go. There's a redeem code used on... Actually, that's a lot of 6s. Use that on drumsofwar.com or for the game code section. Your invite code can be found underneath your settings menu, whatever game system bottom left corner over there. Redeem code's right over there in chat. Just copy, paste the random numbers and letters starting with 99. And the game same word as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,000 gold. Enjoy, everyone. Oh no, he revived. Oh no, he revived, and I did it on a board where we knew for sure we'd have no alignment, and I still clicked it. There we go. Alright, so I believe that is most... Actually, you know what? Has the guild finished this event yet? Because I might clean up a little bit more fights here. Yeah, I'll do the battles one last time here to help out the guild. Probably the last day we'll need to do it, though definitely make sure to switch off those medals before you end out for today. Whenever you end out with Gems of War, because you do not want to have your defend team for Guild Wars set to the event medals. I'm pretty sure quite a few people have done that on accident already. Because last I recall, the way that your medals work for Guild Wars is it takes the medals based on either what you had at reset time on the day that it gets set, or what you currently have equipped. So either way, it's best just to have them set to, you know, something useful before you sign off for between Guild War days. Which is normally like triple cleanse metal, or like pure magic, or something similar. So hello, Lester and Elisa. Welcome, welcome. We're back at 4 battles. Also, while the battles are technically the same amount of points, you do want to keep taking the one that has the highest level. Whatever one you end up seeing the most, because that will give slightly more points than the other ones. Basically, just going to poke every single one once and throw the AoE down. Alternatively, we could just throw poke AoE, poke AoE. The only concern with that is it missing and giving the Valkyrie an extra turn. Also, we have more sigils than what we started with. I think pretty good Valkyrie luck. What if your defense is getting attacked while doing the world event? I'm not sure if it's based on what your current medals are or what the medals are on reset, so I'm not sure what it would do in that situation. It's one or the other, I have just no clue which. It either checks what the medal will set at the exact reset time or what you currently have set literally as they battle. Wow, what a miss. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. We have extra skull damage for this event too. I was going to use that Zenith build for the other thing, but we kind of just kept using this because AoE damage is just so good. As well as Chalcedony being broken beyond belief. But, yeah, I wasn't going to use a Zenith build. I showed it in the Monday video, I just haven't really gotten around to using it any. Because realistically, at the range we're at, we don't really need Zenith yet. And by the time we get enough battles in, we're not even going to need to switch to Zenith. That's hello, Trilogy! Welcome, welcome. Because realistically, once we have 0 sigils here, we're basically done with the event. Thanks to El Loco going for leaderboard. Where is he right now? Looks like he fell a little bit. He dropped down to 11th. He was fighting for 6 earlier. Then he was fighting for 10th. Hopefully he still gets his 10th at least. It's falling a little. It's one of the reasons I don't tend to go for leaderboard. Because look at the difference between like 11th place and then like 100th. You're basically only getting a difference of, what is that, like 100 gems and an orb. Not even 100 gems. It's like 75 gems and an orb, which is not a huge amount of loot. And as we were saying earlier, red orb's basically only worth about like 100 gems or so in the current state of the game. Give or take a little bit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's set based on what's currently set at the moment. That would make sense. I've never checked this specifically to know for sure though. But that would make the most sense. There's actually ways to tweak your hero class too, even though you can't actually tweak the team. Let's say you have like Elemental set, but you gave it like the wrong mana color. Like maybe you gave it plus purple and you want plus brown or explode or something. You can actually change the trait. Even though you can't change the composition of the team, you can change the specific traits. And that still retroactively counts. Even though you can't change the actual troops on the team. You can change the build of your hero. As well as technically your medals. If it does check retroactively. Alright, we did that, we did that. We go get these medals off for magic. Alright, let's go get our crowns. And do some Explore 12 grinding then. Oh, there's the redeem code we handed out earlier. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. Definitely feel free to leave a like on stream, helps a lot and is greatly appreciated. Anyways, let's go claim our PvP tiers. And I guess we will go grab some crowns and let's Explore 12 the rest of the time. Let's do a bit of grinding there. As we got most of the other main objectives done for the day. Unless we want to go do the other objectives. Of course, I normally skip on Arena and the Underworld objectives. Though it is a good idea to always be doing Underworld. The only reason I haven't for like the last few years is, whereas Max can be down here. Unless we want more shards. But, 90,000 is actually max renown. And we have plenty of reserve shards to the degree where I don't feel like we really need to farm for more every single day. So I just kind of skip them. Anyways, let's go do some this level kills. Set a Mirage quick kills all the way on Explore 1 with the Explore 1 team. And get our 10 crowns. Of course, these are the last few days to go get the crowns too if you want to finish out the campaign, or I should say the Kingdom Pass. Well, both the campaign and the Kingdom Pass. They both end at the end of this week, so you still have another, what is that, 4 days then. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And at Monday resets, they were gone. So all their loot will be obtainable in the future. But it's still a good idea to get them done, especially if you paid for either of them. Though even if you didn't, the final weapon on the free side of the Kingdom Pass was money locked for Nexus, so I assume it'll also be money locked for Hellcrag, so it is a good idea to pick it up. It's a pretty useless weapon. It's basically Rope Dart but weaker. Or it's not even really comparable to Rope Dart. It's basically a true damage weapon but weaker. It's weaker than Life and Death. It's weaker than Rope Dart. It's a pretty obsolete weapon. Luckily, most of the $5 money locked weapons are pretty much all obsolete weapons, which is kind of a good thing. Because last I recall, there's not a single $5 money locked weapon that's a must-have. They're all old meta stuff or really gimmicky things that aren't worth using. I think the strongest one still to this day is Crescendo, but it's not really used in any meta. The only reason why it's somewhat useful is it is the only true damage weapon, if I'm not mistaken, other than Rope Dart, that can extra turn off of casting, but only does it when it gets a kill. And with stats being so much higher, it's so much harder for it to get a kill. It was actually buffed once, then nerfed, because it was initially like not performing enough, and then after that it was performing way too well. Like it was like the whole meta for a little while, and then they eventually nerfed it to what it is now. In the current state of the game, with how the stats are, it never hits high enough to really kill anything. I think it hits like 20 something with how high our magic is. Which, even though that's true damage, it's very rarely actually going to kill. Actually, let me just double check. It's hitting for, yeah, 22. Well, I was right when I said 20 something. But yeah, it's generally not going to kill. Like, you're almost always going to want to run like Life and Death, even though it doesn't have auto extra turn. Like, Life and Death's just going to do way more overall. It's doing like double the damage. And aside from that, if you really want like a extra turn option, you're just running Rope Dart. Just kind of pulling them to the front, getting the entangle value and all that. As well as the auto extra turn. It's also non-conditional. Well, I guess it's conditional on you not being frozen. But beyond that, it's non-conditional. Hello, Tyrion! Welcome, welcome. Oh, you've been eating dinner, all good. Always nice to relax at the end of the day, just eating dinner. So I'm not sure why I keep taking mana. Completely pointless too there. The Zenith Troop is a mythic in disguise. It pretty much is. Like, it's better than the actual mythic we got for Hellcrag. Like, the actual mythic is pretty obsolete, especially since he's not a construct, so you can't get half mana start on him. You could do off of knights, but there isn't really a proper knight synergy for him. But yeah, he's definitely more of a mythic than the actual mythic. Unfortunately, he's currently money locked. He'll be available free to play in what should be 6 weeks after the campaign ends, which realistically means by the time the October mythic hits, probably will be available. That's not a guaranteed, but is very likely. Free to play can get Zenith while they open keys to try to get the October Friday mythic. Not the next month one, not the September one, but specifically the October one. He should be in drop table by then. He might even be in drop table a little bit earlier than that. But by the time he comes into drop table, you're probably just going to want to wait till the October mythic anyways. Because there's a chance he'll be available like a week or two before then. But by the time October mythic hits, he should be in drop table. We'll find out when we go for it. Who knows, maybe we'll even put in one of those weekly things. Because sometimes they do mention when troops get into the drop table, not all of them, but sometimes some of the more important ones, as well as tarot cards. That time will tell if they actually do so. If nothing else, some people on the forum might end up mentioning it as well. finally in drop table. I think there's a chart somewhere that kind of says when it is or isn't. I can't remember if it's on Terran's World or not, though. It's not one I normally reference, though, because normally by the time the monthly mythic hits, you can kind of check them automatically just based on what drops you get. Especially when it's something like a legend, because that'll be very obvious when it drops if you're opening something like gem keys. But unfortunately, it will be a couple weeks before it comes into drop table, or I should say several weeks. Oh, so we should be getting a patch next week. We should know a lot of things in advance once that comes out as well, as far as a bunch of future Avenger troops, stuff like that. You already wasted your keys trying to get him. Oh no. Yeah, he's not in event key drop table. Though the mythic is, oddly enough. Also, is Chalcedony in event key drop table? I keep having people say she isn't, and other people saying she is. And it's very confusing. I know I got copies of her specifically from the event, which is different from the event key drop table. Because sometimes they're in the event drop table, but not in the event key drop table. And sometimes when I see them in the event drop table, I think like, oh, they're in the event key drop table as well, but that's not always the case. These are actually distinctly two different drop tables. You got 9 copies last night during the stream from what event key? Nice, so she's definitely in drop table though. Because I had people mentioning like 2 weeks ago that she wasn't in event key drop table as well. But I got copies of her, but I guess it was from just the event, not the event keys. Legendary tasks in Guild are actually kind of like that. For example, even when there's an exclusive mythic in the guild, you can still get different mythics. Also, when things aren't in the drop table, you can still end up getting them from legendary tasks. The chance of it happening is very unlikely, because they get updated into the that drop table immediately. Similar to, I believe, the standard event drop table. But stuff like event keys and normal keys get updated normally 6 weeks after a troop gets added to the game, past its event release. How are we doing on crowns? I feel like we have almost all of them. Yes, that's because we do, except for 2. Let's go find the final 2. Then we'll do some Explore 12 grinding. I guess theoretically we could try to find the other 2 through Explore 12 grinding. Just want to make sure we have them all. Especially that elusive final one. It's the bigger concern there. Hey, also, we almost hit the leveling milestone. We're 3 levels away from level 1,750. Which, in theory, is kind of almost to level 2,000. Not really. I think that's like, what, 70 or 80% the way to 2,000? Based on how it scales. Probably 70%. We're getting there. Also, I still remember when Isabel was like under our level. I think she's the highest person in the guild now. Let me go claim those. I always forget to claim the seals. And now, oh, I didn't donate gold this week. But yeah, now she's almost at 2,000. What's the next highest? Next highest is HP Herm at what is that? Almost 100 higher than this. I know, we're starting to fall. We're the 4th highest now. For the longest time, we were the absolute highest. And there we go. 2 million. If I don't remember to do the donation of the gold on Monday, I always forget to do them. Let's go grab it all. Not too bad. One mix of everything. No, we generally don't want to be seeing trait stones. Trait stones is such a horrifically bad drop. I really wish they would tweak the drop table some. Because anyone who's actually getting to that point doesn't need like half the stuff they're even getting from it. If not more than half. Yeah, I'm actually kind of low on gold right now. I'm gonna go farm more. The easiest way to fix that is just do more Explore 12. I've been slacking on it recently. Though we definitely did go on a bit of a decline of doing it since we got the Horde Mimic. Because lately we've only been seeing like 1-2 times chests every week or so. Whereas before we were pretty much seeing 1 per day, if not more. Just in the rate that we were farming it. Though in all fairness, we have seen like 2 of them this week so far. One of them off of a 1x chest as well. Or 1x Explorer, I mean. No, it's been every other week. Because Hellcrag, the way that they've been doing the Kingdom events is the 1st, 3rd, and 5th week of the Kingdom event are actually of the new Kingdom. The first week was Hellcrag, 2 weeks ago was Hellcrag, and this week is Hellcrag, as well as the final week of the event. They did it the same way as Nexus, and I assume they're going to be doing this similarly for all Kingdom events, where the 1st, 3rd, and 5th weeks of the events are all Hellcrag or all the new Kingdom. Because so far it seems to be going into a pattern in that regard. Because most everything related to the first one, they pretty much did again for the second one, which makes sense. Including the glitches were the tasks, oddly enough. Where those campaign tasks were being all glitchy. Like, pretty much everything about both were pretty much the same. As far as how they were organized. As well as their bugs. They also had the same bugs. Because last Kingdom event, we also ended up losing a crown. There was only 1 crown, we didn't end up losing 3. By losing them, I mean like some kind of glitch that made it literally impossible to get it. So I've been trying to drink Snapple iced tea again. It's okay. Its sugar content is way too high though. Wasn't she in event keys all 3 weeks? I believe no. The very first week she definitely wasn't. The other 2 she should have been. But both those other 2 weeks I had people saying that she wasn't. But that very first week she wasn't, for sure. Because anytime a troop is available for gems in an event, it is not in the event key drop table. And that's consistent 100% of the time. For example, whenever there's like, let's say an invasion event that's lasting all week, which we do still get occasionally, stuff like that. Like any of those kind of things, or like a journey event, which is actually what she was from and stuff like that. I think, well, we have the other week of raids one as well. Any kind of situation like that, the one that's available for glory is never in, or sorry, the one that's available for gems is never available in the event key drop table for that specific week. Also, hey, we got a curse gnome there. That little rare guy. I'm sure there's more things to use curse runes on. One thing we really need as an option for that is upgrading Underworld Trigger. Though I wish I wouldn't actually use curse rune shards. Because it'd be too high a cost. Even if it was only 1 curse rune shard to upgrade some common treasure to rare, that'd be such a waste. Because to get that common to rare and then that rare to ultra rare and that ultra rare to epic would cost so many shards, even if it was one each time, that it wouldn't be worth actually using them for. Which is my big concern if they ever do add underworld upgrading for the treasure system. Because they can end up making it currency-wise where it is so bad value to upgrade them. That's like the mechanic doesn't even exist. So even once we get the mechanic, it might still be useless. One that was balanced okay was actually the metal upgrading system. Like it's actually not that bad, the cost for it relative to what you get in return. You are losing some value on it. But if you're at the point where you don't need that token anymore, it's kind of worth it. Like for example, if you upgrade every common and every rare in the game, it is okay value to upgrade those commons then into rares. So you could use them to upgrade the first level of ultra rares by using the rare one. But otherwise their value isn't that good. The only other instance where its value can be okay is if you're doing like Legend of Mythic. You can get an initiative to upgrade a Mythic with 100% consistency. Because you can only use legendaries for the first level. The second and third, if you want 100% chance, have to be done with niches. Because the only combination of tokens that will allow you to 100% it is 2 niches or 3 niches. 2 niches for the second level and 3 niches for the final one. However, the first level can just be done off of 3 anus. But the other 2 cannot. At least not with 100% rate. Speaking of which, we should upgrade another mythic at some point. I believe I have enough to upgrade like 1.5, 2 of them. It's kind of been holding out for when we finally get another mythic that's going to be like so decisively good for it. That's like, oh, we're going to do that immediately. And there we go, we got all of our crowns in. Nice. Okay, we got a little bit of gem keys with the other thing. So let's go and kill some Explorer 12. See if we can get some good chests. Hopefully some amount of good loot today. Overall, we haven't been doing too bad on Explorer 12 chests. Definitely above average initial rate compared to what we've been doing. That's always good to see, as that's pretty much one of the main things we want to be finding. You end up opening 200 more? Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make sense that's in there then. I used to always open them to check, though we've burnt through so many resources in the past because of it that I generally don't too often these days. Unless I needed to, because we also need the drop. Because otherwise it burns through a lot of resources over time. And we still burn through more resources than we normally would. Like, I still max factions immediately so we could stream them, rather than waiting. Because in the current state of the game, it is much better just to do it slowly. Especially since we're not even using those underworld sigils every single day. And instead we throw like a few thousand at it to get it instantly. Same as hero classes. I would do it manually. If it wasn't for the fact we normally cover a video on it like the first day of it. Because then we'd save like 2,000 gems. It would take us like 15 hours longer, but it would save us like 2,000 or 3,000 gems. I'm gonna hope this hits. And it does. And it misses. Oh, one side of it hit. We got a half. Is that one really annoying freeze one? We're getting to deal with them. Yeah, she was the journey event troop the first week. And whenever something's available for gems like that, it's never an event key drop table. for example, the bounty trooper getting this Friday will not be an event queue drop table, even though it is from Hellcrag. It is currently in the gem drop table, so it won't be in the, or, you know, specifically gems through the event. So it's not going to be an event keys or any key for that matter. So if you want to max out the Mire, the only way you can is through Bounty Hunter, which does cost several hundred gems. I believe it's like 810 plus a blue orb or something, which is what you need to complete out Bounty Hunter anyways. So we're going to be spending that much. Honestly, isn't too bad. It normally gives you positive loot. Oh, so Bounty Hunter doesn't take that long. It takes like, what, 2 hours these days? We'll probably split it across the 3 days this weekend. I think I covered a little video on it on Monday. I mean, on Friday, I mean. So I need to wake up early, too. One of the actual other reasons why I'm not doing midday streams for the next few days is there's a big Pokemon tournament thingy going on. I'm not competing in there or anything, but I did want to watch it. And there's because of the time zone difference, because I believe it's taking place in London. I think they're starting at like 4 or 5 a.m. or something. Because obviously in London that's like what, closer to like almost noon. Oh, maybe not noon, maybe like 10 or something. 9 or 10. It's starting like ultra early. Is it being streamed on Twitch? I'm not sure. I know it's being streamed on YouTube, on Pokemon's official YouTube channel. I'm mostly watching the VGC. Because I'm very interested in, I have been getting more interested in like the competitive Pokemon side. Not sure if I'd ever go to like an in-person event though. Honestly, any esports in-person event just seems like too much work. As well as the cost. Like, the prize money would have to be like so absurdly good or to justify the cost to ever travel to one. Just so inconvenient because you have to drop everything for almost an entire week, all the funds, Sachiko there, all that. It's even worth it. I like smaller online competitions for them. Would be fine. Let's see. I'll take that over. Yeah, if I recall correctly, the Pokemon channel has like 10 different streams going on. Because they have one going on for like literally every single thing. Mostly watching the VGC one. Which is the video game competition one. Which is for Sword and Shield. Oddly enough, it's actually the only, because of COVID, it's actually the only in-person world tournament for Sword and Shield. Despite it coming out in 2019. That is because COVID got in the way of the 2000, 2001 ones. Have we ever gotten 100% on Arceus? Yes and no. We got the sane 100%. Have we gotten true 100%? Kind of. Like, we got like 96%. The final, like, 4 or 5% we're missing could quite literally take 500 to 1,500 hours for, like, a dozen Pokemon. Because they're, like, literally the hardest things to try to get within the game. It's just not realistic. Almost no one has. There are a few people that have. But, realistically, almost no one has. Because it requires a combination of luck and, well, mostly luck. Luck and a lot of time. And the methods for them are also really boring for streaming. Because like 9/10 of the time you're doing literally nothing, just waiting for rifts to spawn. I was hoping they would do DLCs that would make them a little bit easier to get. Which is why I wasn't like trying to farm them that much. Because the method of how I need to get almost all the remaining ones I don't have is you have to wait for a rift that can appear once every 5 minutes and has like a 20% chance, then a 30, then a 40, then a 50 or something like that, up to like I think half an hour, or up to 50 minutes where it has a 100% chance if you didn't get it by then. And you're basically just having to wait out a timer every 5 minutes for checks and just hoping that it spawns. And then once it does, you get 3 checks max. and it has a 1 in 600 odds or so, despite having like 6 checks per hour, meaning per each one, at average luck, you would have to spend 100 hours just for 1 shiny, and I need like a dozen of them. I've gotten 3 of them? 4 of them? 3. I've gotten 3 of them that way, but there's like a dozen something of them, which is why I haven't bothered doing it. It's just way too grindy. It's not even like a good grindy, it's literally just sitting around doing nothing grindy. The Victini Pokemon, if you get the code... Oh yeah, I'll let you know. I believe they're announcing it on the stream. Yeah, they don't hand out mythicals that often. It's actually kind of funny because the next format for Pokemon, so I'm pretty sure there won't be any official tournament for it, but the next format actually allows mythicals. It's the first format ever in an official capacity that actually allows it. The one for the actual competition has 2 restricted ones, as far as what is allowed, which are definitely for mythicals though. Because generally restricted means legendaries, whereas mythicals is like a whole category of its own. The problem with mythicals in Pokemon though, is almost all mythicals are handed out through events. Kind of like how this one's being handed out for the World Championship thing. So they're not really something you'd farm for, normally. What kingdom is next week? Next week is... I have no clue. Merlantis does sound correct, though I do not recall off the top of my head. We'll find out in a second. Next week is the kingdom of... yeah, Merlantis. We're getting 2 new troops. We're getting a legendary and event key drop table, and ultra rare that's an event key drop table, and for glory. Yeah, we're getting a new, what does he do? Ooh, all merfolk 50%? Do we not already have that? Ooh. That's not bad. Oh, that has the potential. Oh yeah, some people were talking about this earlier. Yeah, this could be interesting for, Megavore. Even though it's Megavore's from a different kingdom. Yeah, Megavore is probably the biggest beneficiary. I'm trying to think of who else would get it. Obviously, the hero class. It's nice to have 50% mana on. Those other hero classes are better than it. At least that makes the hero class less worse, if nothing else. But, what's the biggest beneficiary of it from a troop perspective? Because that's actually kind of big whenever we get a new 50%. Because that generally allows a lot of new stuff to be used, especially when the typing's not that bad. And honestly, merfolks aren't that bad. So the biggest beneficiaries to a 50% mana start would be Megavore, Piskia, Nimue, Azura. Skyla's good, but it's used for its final trait, not its ability. Let's see. So yeah, Megavore, Piskia. Particularly those 2. Like, that's where almost all the value of using that would be from. Nimue, Azura. Maybe Merlion? Yeah, you don't already have it. Merlion's kind of gimmicky. It's a double silence, but impervious. You only get to choose 1 of the silences, though. And oddly enough, this little creature for creating a bunch of blue. But overall, yeah, nothing too big. It's mostly Megavore or Piskia teams. Either or, you would never use them together. Megavore has the benefit, it has the best armor tier in the entire game. It is the only option, well, maybe not the best. Well, it's the only option that can armor tier the entire enemy team simultaneously. And now you can do it for only 12 mana cost instead of 24. There might be some quick kill Explore 12 teams that are getting a bit out of this. And it's probably the biggest thing that's actually coming from this, as it might allow Explore 12 to be one slightly quicker. I don't feel like it's going to be more consistent than some of the teams that already exist, but it will definitely open up a different strategy. Of course, Megavore is kind of already used to some capacity for that, but now it could be used even more efficiently. Now they can pretty much full mana off of a Leprechaun cast, because you just make your team into the 50% mana start. You know, you kind of have something like one other cleanup option. Megavore, the 50% mana start troop, and probably a Leprechaun. And that would be your team, and then you run Explore 12. You throw down your mana accumulator, you throw down Megavore, you throw down your damage source, and then you won. That would be, in theory, how the battle would go. But you would need one of the casts that can completely kill the entire enemy team. Unfortunately, there's not a I don't think there's a merfolk that can actually do that. Because I don't believe there's a good all enemies merfolk cast other than off a hero. Using whatever weapon. Yeah, there's not really, like there's Leviathan, but there's like barely anything. Yeah, Leviathan's actually the only one, really? Yeah, it dispels all enemies, deals some damage to all enemies, boosted by blue gems, knock the first to the back. Yeah, the only option you'd have then is hero weapons. Off of the Merlantis hero class. Or off of any hero class for that matter. Which doesn't leave you with much. I'm not sure if that's even enough damage to kill now that I think about it. Because even after Megavore, while it does tear all the armor, you still have to deal with a lot of stats. Like, let's say we tore all the armor off this battle right here. Like, we're still dealing with like 100, what, HP? Like 150, 160. Like, you're not going to kill that out in one hit. It's not with a hero weapon. Oh yeah, Writhing Staff's this Tuesday, isn't it? I almost forgot about that. Yeah, I believe Writhing Staff is this Tuesday. 100% should pick it up. It is a really good weapon. It's one of the only ways to create skulls off a hero. It also has Skull and Tangle, which is really strong, and is unique only to that weapon. It's one of a handful of Tuesday Underworld weapons that are really good. Life and Death probably being one of the more other noteworthy ones. It's like one of the top 3, top 5 Underworld weapons. Having a unique mechanic that no other weapon has. Yeah, you see me using it occasionally. Oddly enough, normally with Phoenicia teams. Mostly because it's a really good cleanup for Phoenicia teams. But you can also use it just as a skull spam option on hero. Normally you want to go manipulating on hero, but there are some situations where you can go skulls. And in those situations, it's a really good weapon. Having a protective entangle is also good, because even if you miss with the skulls, they're going to be entangled anyways, so it's not like they're hitting you for anything. Assuming they can be entangled. So generally, if you're going to be bothered to use that weapon, you probably already know ahead of time if you can or cannot entangle them or not. In the context of the battle that you're doing. But it's also really good for pet battles, just for cleaning up the final option. Because not only does it do split damage that concentrates the damage onto whatever's remaining, but it also creates skulls, so whatever that resummon is, it will just be able to kill with the skulls then. Look forward to hopefully one day getting 50% mana start for Daemons to bring them. I know, I really want to see Daemons get 50% mana start. Mostly because they're kind of underwhelming in the current state of the game. Like, they really need that to become back into any kind of relevance. Because almost all Daemons aren't really used. Or if they are, they're not being used because they're Daemons. They're just being used for whatever their ability is. Like, pure Daemon teams are near non-existent. The other reason for that is the hero classes related to Daemons, despite there being 3 of them, they're all kind of bad. There's among some of the worst hero classes. Despite having some of the most hero classes. It's funny because most of the ones that only have 1 typing, not all of them, but a good number of them have way better hero classes. Like, the one single hero class is better than, like, the entirety of the 3 that some of the other ones have. I think there's, like, 2 or 3 that have 3. I think it's Fae, Daemon, and Undead, if I'm not mistaken. Have, like, 2 or 3 each. Because if we go to, let's see, go to Daemon. Yeah, there's 3. Diabolist, Doomsayer, and Sorcerer. Among some of the worst hero classes in the entire game. If we go to, Elf. Wait, was it Elf? No, it was Fae. If we go to Fae. Oh no, there's only 2 for Fae. Maybe it was Elf then. Yeah, Elf had 3. It was Archer, Monk, and Orb Weaver. But in all fairness, all 3 of those are really good in their own unique ways. All those are actually pretty viable hero classes. Was there another one that had 3? I think those might be the only 2. East didn't, right? No, it only had a Warden, which is awful. Let's see. Oh yeah, we still don't have a War Gear hero class, do we? It's actually the only main typing that does not have a typing now. Every single other one, if we were to click through each of these, has a typing. Not counting false and all that, but you know, as far as like actual standard typings within the game, every single one, and Undead has 2 there. Every single one has at least 1. However, there is one that is missing of the primary typings, and it is War Gear. The main reason for this is the Warden hero class, the one that you'd expect to be War Gear, is not War Gear. So that means we're going to be getting a whole War Gear kingdom probably next. Probably early next year. We don't have an official date for it. But even though we don't know anything about the new or the upcoming kingdom, whenever it's going to come, we can almost guarantee that it's War Gear, just because it's the only hero class that hasn't been done. And it seems like they're trying to hit hero classes for the current next few kingdoms. And the first one hit Elementalist, which, you know, Elemental hero class because we were missing Elemental. The most recent one did Construct because we were missing Construct. And guess what the last one we're missing is? It's War Gear, which means almost guaranteed, though not 100% confirmed, but very likely the next kingdom, or the two kingdoms for now, though most likely the next one is going to be a War Gear kingdom. This is the only hero class we're missing, type-wise. Not counting Tower, Boss, and all that, but we're probably never getting options for those. As far as the primary typings, the only one we're missing is War Gear now. I know, we even have a War Gear hero skin, which is kind of funny. Yeah, we don't even have a War Gear hero class. But we have a War Gear skin. I feel like they initially wanted to do a lot more with War Gears, and then they never did. Have a nice Siberian, catch you later. Which we're probably going to be calling it soon too after this next chest. If anyone has any other questions or anything you want me to go over, do let me know. Make sure to do so. Give no problem for the code. Is it still active? Yeah, if anyone hasn't used it yet, there's the code. Apparently it might still be active. We'll have another one tomorrow night, as we do every night. And most this week we'll be going to be doing Guild Wars, of course, every single night. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday we'll also be wrapping up Bounty Hunter. Well, starting and wrapping up Bounty Hunter. I'll probably have a video for it on Friday morning. So I can get that out around reset time or so. Because there's not much to cover. Bounty Hunter's a really quick thing to cover. Well, I didn't mention in the Monday videos, I figured we'd do a little short thing on it. Yeah, Mergrim Woods has become more of a Beast Kingdom than a War Gear Kingdom. Like, initially it seemed like it was going to be War Gear. Then they made the Hero Class Beast, and they started adding almost exclusively more Beasts to the Kingdom rather than War Gears. Even though they did a mix of both, it's more so Beast than it is War Gear. So that means whatever the new Kingdom is going to be super War Gear based then. But it always was confusing to me, because Mergrim Woods seemed like it was going to just be the War Gear Kingdom. And even at launch, like, it was primarily War Gear with very few Beasts. And then over time, it basically became a Beast Kingdom with very few War Gears. It also has the 50% Mana Star Beast, which made it even more of a Beast Kingdom. Let's go get this final chest, because we're actually a little bit short on that one. We're gonna have to go all the way through to go get the chest again. Remember when Dragonstar, oh yeah, Dragonstar, JoeConnors. That was a really fun meta. Yeah, there was a point where Dragonsoul doing 20 damage was considered good. Like, really good. Like, insanely good. Nowadays, it's like Dust Devil damage. And not in the good way. Not in like the Ironhawk Dust Devil way. I mean like in the actual like Dust Devil way. Because compared to the rest of the scaling of the game, it is so low. Because at one point, you could like triple shot a team with Dragonsoul. And nowadays, it will take you like 10 casts. And even then, you might not kill. Like, a Dragon Soul could cast on us 10 times and we still wouldn't be dead with this team. But there was a point where you could cast it a few times and it would kill. And you still can in super early game. It definitely falls off quite quickly these days. It's still a good early game way to get souls. The only problem is it's a legend, so you might not have it when you're in early game. Unless you get lucky. Alright, speaking of lucky, let's go get his final chest. Also, as NASA mentions, definitely feel free to leave a like on the stream. Helps a lot. It's greatly appreciated. Alright, let's go get his final chest. Alright, throw that down. Get that there. Boom. Boom. I'll catch you later, Gimli. Yeah, we're going to be calling it soon, 2 for the night, as soon as we get this. So we got from down. And now let's go get our triple Nisha chest. If this is a single Nisha, I'll hand out another code. If it's even a single Nisha. Oh, it knew. It gave us the Anu. Unfortunately, that's not a Nisha, though. But yeah, we got our ending Anu. Honestly, we haven't been getting too many ending Anus. I'm not sure what happened to our RNG. For the longest time, we were having like an absurdly high rate of getting an Anu on our final chest of any stream. But glad to see it's back. And that's the only good token we got all stream. Oh, also, I haven't really made any mention of this, but they're doing the Feast of Beasts event thingy right now. Well, I don't know if this is, I have no clue, but they've been doing a bunch of offers that have all been pretty much pointless, so at the end we get some kind of free thing. Or some gems and some trait stones. Not like a huge amount of loot, but definitely make sure to grab that free one this Sunday. And all the offers there have been pretty underwhelming, though. But anyways, guys, I will catch you guys tomorrow night, same time as always, 1 hour prior to now tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we do every single night. I'll primarily be doing Brown Guild War Day, as well as the class event. It's the final Geomancer class event for quite some time. So if you want to get any XP for it, or just do it for the free gems, you can end up doing it then. And then this Friday we have Bounty Hunter. We'll cover that once we get to that point. Anyways, guys, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll catch you guys soon. And goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching. I closed the wrong one. I closed the game. Anyways, thanks for watching.